Let's see if you have some callbacks hiding in your jokes in progress by wrap it all up. Let's see if you have some callbacks hiding in your jokes in progress by topic folder to use for your closer exercise 27 adding callbacks to close strong comedy bible workbook then exercises 27 adding callbacks comedy buddy expert exercise take a look at the material in your comedy bible workbook. Which jokes would you like to open with or definitely include in the first few minutes your your set question mark. What word, phrase or theme do you see that would be fun to repeat later or at the end of your set? Run through some callback ideas and your comedy buddy. Example: you are doing material early in your act about how weird your brother is cuddling with his cat when he sleeps. Then you end your set with thank you. I have got to go. I promised my cat I would be home early to cuddle. Some of the best callbacks are those you think of in the moment when performing. Stay open to all possibilities. Meanwhile, it's time to write the set. It's time to write the set. Meanwhile, it's time to write the set. Meanwhile, it's time to write the set. Example: you are doing material early in your act about how weird your brother is for cuddling with his cat, and when he sleeps, then you end your set with thank you. I have got to go. I promised my cat I would be home early to cuddle. Some of the best callbacks are those you think of in the moment when performing. Stay open to all possibilities. Meanwhile, it's time to write the set list for your gig. You know, the gig that's on your calendar, right? So why not the learner will be open for more better. Overcome stage fright by creating a set list. One of the biggest fears for beginning comics is forgetting their act. Let's eliminate that worry by focusing on how to write a set list. A set list is not a script, it's a cheat sheet. You are going to write a list of words or short phrases to jog your memory on what joke comes next. This allows you to be fully present and removes the worry associated with forgetting your act. Here is my set list for a 60-minute act. I write it with a Sharpie pen so I can see it and put it on a high stool next to a glass of water. That way I can glance at it and know where I'm going if I'm okay. Now where I'm going. I write it with a sharpie pen so I can see it and put it on a high stool next to a glass of water, and that way I can glance at it and know where I'm going if I'm lost while I take a sip of water while I take a sip of water. Okay. Prevent irrelevant or irrelevant low immigration responsibility expectation expert nurse drama workshop. You are not sound music your choice corporate impaired who hackers aren't appreciate. Okay. Boss app leadership makes me mad. Airdrops rad jokes newspaper. Okay. Admin etc book stop look stop stoppy plates audible. Oh man, trick Tom Timoy Dr. Phil childhood. Okay. Timoy childhood can stop stress miss Dapon boss into also effect ripple effect power over Jewish tragedy time plus time marriage boss choice. Okay. Alright, right, stop. Give acro give. Before writing a set list, here are some pointers to help with determine the best order for your material. When you are a new comic, it helps to think of the audience as a first date. You want to start off with stuff you have in common, such as living in the same city, sharing a similar heritage, or common interests. As the audience gets more comfortable with you, it's easier to reveal more personal or edgy information. But just like a first date, it might be off-putting if the first thing the audience learns pertains to your menstrual cycle or your latest herpes episode. Remember, very often the audience is eating nachos, so make them laugh, not nauseous. Arrange your material the way your body is arranged. Start with your head to do smart stuff about community, family, ethics, okay, heritage, simple observations about life. Then work your way down to the heart. Emotional material about emotional. Okay, then down heart. Emotional material about love, heartaches, breakups and marriage, and end at the groin sexual material. The problem with starting with sexual material is it gives you no place to go. So just like a good date, and let the audience get to know you before metaphorically. Okay, before metaphorically understanding in front of them, or you could simply choose to keep all of your material above the waist. Okay, or you could simply choose to keep all of your material above the waist. Not within a moment, because that's the main thing, mastery of all areas. Have a fun jam session with your comedy buddy in this next exercise. Exercise 28. Get on your feet. Set list fun. Comedy Bible workbook. Then exercise. Then exercise 28. Set list fun. Comedy buddy exercise. Let's practice being loose with an exercise. Many comedy clubs do as a show called Setlist Comedy without a net. When pro comics hit okay, when pro comics hit the stage, they are given in set list and must improvise material on the spot using the topics given to them. Let's try it. Okay, we will start by listing the topics with your comedy buddy, and get on your feet and use the joke structure outlined in your comedy bible workbook under my act. Then joke structure. Below is a sample set list. Attack these topics with attitude, then drive them to a premise of opinion or insight, and get to an act out or a turn. Talk about why these topics are hard, weird, scary, or stupid. Shopping when you are broke. Picking a tattoo. Women's tennis. Celebrity weddings. Dating when you are older. College cafeteria food. Living in a dorm. Eating vegan with friends who are meat eaters. Being sober when your friends are drunk. Donut holes. Holidays with the family. Dog sleeping in your bed. Life chaos. When you are being loose, you might find that you are creating some killer bits in the moment. For that reason, record your sessions and, as always, capture your favorite responses and put them in your comedy bible workbook. Exercise 29. Organizing your set list. Comedy bible workbook. Then my act. Then set list comedy buddy exercise. Now let's organize your polished joke into a set. Then 1. Create code words. Go through all your polished joke documents, and for each joke write in all caps and a code word or short phrases at the beginning of that joke. For instance, the routine about going with your grandmother to buy cannabis can be shortened to GMAPOT, pot, GMA, GMA pot. Nonsense. Okay, pot, GMA pot. To organize your set list. To organize your set list or lists. Remember, think of the audience as a first date. Start off with stuff you have in common. Okay, such as working in an office, driving, or shopping online. When the audience gets more comfortable with your material, you can introduce more personal or edgy information. 3. Edit your set list or lists. Edit according to how much time you will be on stage as well as the venue. Comedy Bible workbook, my act, set my workbook, then my act, then set list, then my 3-minute clean act, then my 3-minute clean act. So you might end up with nerd, growing up, Mormon, new puppy, broke, getting dumped. Comedy Bible workbook, then my act, then set list, then lists, then raunchy 10 minutes. A typical set list might look like this. I'm tall. Stupid things people say. Being broke, politics, can't get laid, food in bed is toys. If you take your set list, okay, that's great. If you take your set list on stage, put it on a stool next to you and only look at it after you get a laugh, and then after you do the tag when looking down and the set list during the laugh, you will cut it short. It's critical to be in the moment with the audience when they are laughing. Some comics put a drink next to the set list as an excuse to look down, to bring or not to bring. Set your set list on stage. Many famous comics bring 3 set lists on stage in order to hone jokes. Yeah, and they have either written that day or are workshopping by. You'll hardly ever see a comic refer to a set list for a paying gig. A visible set list undercuts the illusion the comic is being funny in the moment. A piece of paper communicates to the audience that to the audience what they are watching is pre-planned. So take a leap of faith and leave your set list in the car. After all, if you forget your scripted jokes, maybe the jokes you think of on the spot will be funnier. 4. Know with certainty what your last bit is and its length. You might be in the middle of your set when the light indicating more minute remaining goes on. So if your last bit is 30 seconds, you will want to perfect transitioning to it, perfect transitioning to it from anywhere in your set. Practice going from a practice going from the middle of your act to the last bit. This technique will prove to be indispensable throughout your career for finishing on time. Practice your act using a set list until you feel you know it. Consider not bringing your set list on stage. Let's work on how to memorize your act, as forgetting material is one of a comic's biggest fears. How to memorize your act and not sound like you have memorized your act. I'm totally freaked. I'm totally freaked out that I'm going to forget all my jokes. Memorizing a stand-up routine is very different from memorizing a speech. You don't want to sound like a robo comic on stage that said some jokes depend on very specific verbiage, whereas act outs can generally be loose and spontaneous. Here are some suggestions. Exercise 30. How to memorize your act. How to memorize your act. Take your chunks out for a walk. Take your material out for a walk, one chunk at a time. Doing a repetitive exercise such as walking or even throwing a ball against a wall is effective for connecting your material to muscle memory. So first read through a chunk of your material. If you are writing a 3-minute set, this could be a 1-minute chunk. Leaving your material behind, take your phone to record yourself as you go for a walk and talk as you walk. Say your material out loud with attitude as you visualize an audience in front of you. After each joke, look up and nod to your imaginary audience, creating a tag that gives them a chance. Laugh. You won't look weird to people passing by, as they will assume you are on your phone having a fight with someone. If you forget material, just improvise. If you come up with more material, record it now. Go home and match up what you did with what you wrote. Chances are the way you spoke the material while walking is the way it needs to be done. If you forgot material, perhaps there is a good reason for leaving it out. That material might be awkward or inauthentic. Go out for another walk, and if you forget that bit again, trust your instincts and cut it. After finishing the first chunk, go on to the next one. Bonus: by the end of this exercise, not only have you memorized your act, but you got some cardio in. Warning: do not practice your jokes on friends. One former student had a great act, then he tried his material out on friends. They didn't like it and gave him suggestions. At our class showcase, he performed nasty jokes about blue balls and totally bombed. Stand-up is not the same thing as telling jokes at a party. Practice with and trust your comedy buddy. memorize by place. M, a super effective mnemonic, a super effective mnemonic device is delivering various parts of your speech in different physical places. For instance, you can do the chunk about your parents at the mic. Then take the mic out, move to stage left, and do the chunk about your last breakup. Associating a chunk with a specific location helps you remember material. John Kinde, a professional speaker and humorist, suggested finding a balance between memorizing your act and being impromptu. Certain parts of the act should be precisely memorized. Try to deliver these parts exactly the same way each time, but don't freeze if you deviate a bit. You don't want to be a prisoner of a script, but there are a few specific elements you absolutely must memorize. The first sentence of each chunk of your act. Even if you blank for a second, the segue or to segue to another chunk will come to you. The last joke, you don't ever want to stumble over your closing. The benefits of memorizing. Judy, I don't want to memorize and act as the best stand-up comics appear as if they are being funny off the top of their heads. Long ago, I did an HBO comedy special with several newcomers, including Robin Williams. During the rehearsal, Williams was very clear on what he was doing and where he was doing it. As he said to the director, then I'll walk into the audience and do my Shakespeare routine here. Certainly, Williams improvised a lot of material on the spot, but his brilliance was making his planned material look spontaneous. It's impossible to become a professional until a memorized, rehearsed act sounds spontaneous and natural, leaving room to react in the moment to your audience. Memorizing your act allows your personality to shine through and provides the confidence to be spontaneous. Certain parts of your act need to be really tight and scripted, like each of your setups, but leave room to improvise and even surprise yourself during act outs. You will even want to leave spots up where you might banter with the audience. It will never be perfect, but perfect is overrated. Perfect is boring. Say yes, and you will figure it out later. Tina Fey, you are. Do not practice your act in front of a mirror. News flash. In the club there will be no mirror. The only thing practicing your act in front of a mirror will do is make you more self-conscious. It's best to practice by visualizing an audience rather than looking at yourself. Okay. Visualizing as an audience. I also suggest not videotaping yourself. without an audience. If you really want to have the experience of being on stage, turn off all the lights and set up a flashlight to shine in your eyes. That's that's what it's like being on stage, and you will also be prepared the next time you are pulled over for a DUI for a pulled over for a DUI 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 touching the laser. It would be far less stressful if I could just read my material in order to make people laugh. You have to connect with them. That will never happen with your head down, reading from a piece of paper. You are memorizing your act verbatim may have gotten you an A in high school, but it's not the most important criteria of being a successful comic. It's not about the words, it's about the emotion behind what you are talking about, and letting your persona come through. Speaking about your persona, your comedy persona. What exactly is a comedy persona? Your comedy persona is being your most authentic self on stage. It's the way you tell your jokes. After all, everyone talks about basically the same topics: relationships, observations, their job, and so on. But nobody covers those those topics the way you do. Nobody else has your particular point of view, your voice, or your mannerisms. All these elements form your comedy persona. He haven't discussed comedy persona until now, as it usually takes years to form. Comedy persona origin sorry organically develops organically, like when you are practicing in front of your comedy buddy. Think about some of your favorite comedians and you will immediately recognize their personas. Sarah Silverman is cutting and smart. Chris Rock is high energy and and tells okay, and tells the truth with with no apologies. Amy Schumer is adorable and over is, but that's not how they started out. The road to being fully authentic on stage is a long journey. Your persona will be a combination of what you talk about and how you talk about it. What if I want to be a character on stage? What what if I want to be a character on stage? One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is going on stage as a character. Many comics don a facade out of fear of being vulnerable in front of an audience, or they fear being boring, so they develop a funny character. The problem is that effort goes against the core of what makes stand-up entertaining. the unauthenticity and relatability of the material your persona is or will be you. Comedy persona is beyond the topics I talk about. For instance, throughout my career, I have joked about a lot of different topics, often based on my current life stage. Starting out in my 20s, much of my early material included jokes about and act outs of my Russian American Jewish grandmother, feminism, and dating. I didn't start out doing material about aging, but guess what? My audience has aged along with me, so it's become a big part of my current act. What's been consistent throughout my careers, no matter what I joke about, is my personality and the way I perform. I would say my current comedy persona is being a reluctant rebel rouser. Some beginners try to identify their comedy persona before they have written any jokes. They want to be a Trevor Noah type. And or a Tina Fey type. What about being a U type? Yes, U type. After all, that type hasn't been done yet. Your topics, what you are passionate about. What what really gets under your skin, what you can't stop thinking about, and the way you talk about things while being true to yourself. Define your persona. What do you want to talk about? What do you have to say? Let your comedy persona develop organically. Many well-known comics fail. The audience's perception of them created their persona. Be patient. See what develops. Use this time in your early career to explore topics that interest you and play around with various delivery styles. The audience will identify your persona when they connect to an authentic and hilarious vibe in your set. Don't put them. Whatever a comic talks about on stage is all they talk about off stage. Sarah Silverman. Wow. Great. On stage and off stage, what you're talking about will be same. Okay, what you're talking about on stage. Okay, they all they talk about. Whatever a comic talks about. Same. Okay. So use this time in your early career to explore topics that interest you, and play around with various delivery styles. The audience will identify your persona when they connect to an authentic and hilarious vibe in your set. Don't put them. persona before the material, and most importantly, don't worry about branding yourself until you have a solid 30 minutes until you have a solid 30 minutes. Stay authentic to yourself. When Judge Simple started out, he did any gigs he could to try out material. One night, Seinfeld was headlining, and the middle comic or middle was non-stop nasty. Every topic was something we would never discuss in front of grandmother, that is master and organ, okay, and spam bay, just to name a few. And the scary part was the drunken audience loved it. Then Seinfeld walked on stage with his observations. Where does lint come from? Where does lint come from? At first, the audience was dead, but Seinfeld didn't change what he did. He kept on with his clean material, and slowly but surely the audience started laughing and laughing hard. Seinfeld always kept authentic to himself, no matter how he followed. Yeah. Dressing for your persona. In the last exercise, you looked at some of your personality attributes. Now let's combine those. With what you are going to look like on stage. Obviously, your wardrobe is the first thing people see and judge you on. When you come on stage, it tells the audience who you are before you say one word. In her first HBO special, which launched her to stardom, Rita Rudner came on stage in a super cute cocktail dress and full makeup, telegraphing, "I'm cute, smart, and I don't swear." And that became her persona. John Mulaney was usually in a suit and tie, as if to say, "I'm a pro and dressed like one." Then again, Michael Rappaport wears a hoodie, as if to say, I just got out of bed and I'm here riffing on stuff." Janine Garofalo dresses down in something most women would wear to the gym. The grunge look compliments her "I don't give a shit" persona. Paula Poundstone wears a coat and tie, only revealing her from the makeup, conveying I'm doing smart, heady comedy. Until deciding what to wear, follow these fashion don'ts. No clothing with writing on it, especially jokes. Okay, writing on it. Okay, writing on it, especially jokes. If the clothes are funnier than you, that's a problem. Branded gear is also distracting. If your clothes are funnier than you, that's problem. Branded gear is also distracting. You never know what experiences an audience member has had with Nike or okay. So why risk it? Why risk it? Women keep always from SC outfits and turn the audience on with their mind. Men can generally get away with being both messy and funny. Don't wear anything that makes you uncomfortable. Mm, Keep away from messy outfits. Okay. Don't wear anything that makes you uncomfortable. With you are performing in a comedy club with hay and peanut shells on the floor. Don't show up. Don't show up in a three-piece Versace 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 suit and lose the tie and waist. At least your formality should match that of the club. No one likes a sleaze ball. No one likes. So don't dress like one. Don't wear stained and wrinkled clothes. Look clean even if your act isn't. Okay. Special note to female comics essays in comedy. I have a suspicion that the definition of crazy in show, that's what my mind was looking through, but those are not wearing those stuffs. Those are uh, covered. Okay, wait, maybe she read this. I have a suspicion that the definition of crazy in show business is a woman who keeps talking even after no one wants to hear her anymore. Enough. I have suspicion that the definition of we have come a long way from my first appearance on a TV comedy when special when the MC introduced me with this not so appropriated by today's standards announcement. Here is something different, a girl comedian, and she has tease and no joke. 20 years ago, most comedy clubs just had lineups of mostly all male comics. Now comedy clubs just have lineups of mostly all male comics. It gets bleaker for older male comics. After all, when was the last time you heard a good menopause joke on late night TV? On late night TV? Never. Stand-up comedy is not a man's job. It's an alpha job. To be the only person in a room with a microphone who's allowed to talk. Catherine Ryan. It's the same struggle that has gone on for decades. How do we women assume the power position and be taken seriously for our ideas rather than our bodies? And for the first 10 years of my career, I wore pants. I remember the first time I got up the courage I wear a dress or on stage at a comedy club. When I walked out, I got catcalls, but by this point in my career, I was confident enough to own it. I squashed the heckler and established myself as the one in control. Women comics need to take the risk of not being desirable, of having strong opinions, turning people off, of having strong opinions, turning people off, being appreciated from their neck up, being appreciated from their neck up. That's that's the freedom that white male comics have always enjoyed. That's the freedom that white male comics have always enjoyed. This topic is much bigger than a notation at the end of a chapter. So I'm currently writing an entire book on how female comedians can make themselves and and make just as much money as men. Stay tuned. The next exercise gives you an idea of what your persona might become. Exercise 31: exploring your comedy persona, comedy Bible workbook. Then exercise 31: exploring my comedy persona. Let's get in touch with what makes makes you unique, and learn how to expand on your distinctive characteristics. One, pick two or three of these. This describing you. Come on. Okay, mom type: optimistic, sarcastic, angry, shy, political, dark, rebel, awkward, blunt, cheerleader, shy, nerd, loser, slacker, brown nose, vulnerable, sexually obsessed, cutting edge, neurotic, geek, lazy, indecisive, pranksters. I guess I just prefer to see. Pick two or three of these describing. I guess I just prefer to see the dark side of things. The glass is always half empty and cracked, and I just cut my lip on it, and I just cut my lip on it and chipped a tooth. Genuine Garofalo. To use these two or three characteristics from above to write new material. Ask yourself what's been hard, weird, scary, stupid about being insert your quality. Write some new material for these qualities, and in your exercise 31, exploring my comedy persona, document if nothing comes up. Try a different attribute and or attitude. Transfer any strong attribute to your Comedy Bible workbook. Workbook 3. Look in your closet and what outfit reflects your persona. You now have an act with polished jokes. Let's talk about Performing it. Performing stand-up essential pro tips. Mic technique is this thing on pro tips. Is this thing on stand-up should never be performed without a microphone. Even in a room with two people. An important part of what makes stand-up work is louder than everyone else. You can have the funniest act in the world, but if people can't hear you, cue the crickets. The first thing to do when you get on stage is adjust the mic stand. However, nothing says a method like fumbling with the mic. So practice this from Canada to Cambodia. Every mic stand in with the world works the same way. Repeat this now. Righty tighty, left loosey. Walk out, grab the stand, loosen it by twisting lefty loosely. Then bring the mic slightly below your mouth and tighten the stand by twisting tighty. Then tilt the mic slightly toward you so it's directly in front of your mouth. Should I take the mic out or leave it in the stand? If you are a beginning comic, leave the mic in the stand. The advantages of this are it centers you and prevents pacing. It frees up both hands for act outs. It one less thing for you to worry about. Yes. Watching amateur comics pace back and forth is like watching a tennis match. It's dizzying. Many comics do it because they think it looks like they have a lot of energy. In reality, pacing makes you seem nervous and diffident. Warning: try not to use a lavalier, which is a mic that attaches to your clothing and placed near your mouth. Lavs work great for presentations and when doing a lot of physicality and act outs, but they can't be disastrous for comics. Why? During some act outs, you need to raise your voice or even shout to prevent blowing out people's eardrums. You must control amplification by moving away from the mic when yelling. You can't do that with a lav. You can't do with lav. Level. You also need a handheld mic for audience participation if the space is conducive to, to it. Ask a question and then hold the mic out for an audience member to speak into. Just to make sure the mic never leaves your hand. Finally, the mic stand can become a character or be used as a prop. Just don't use it as a metal detector or as being or as okay miss and as this has been done to death using the mic. No mic and no mic and stand at home. No mic and stand. Using the mic, no mic and expressions, no mic and stand at home. Get to the club early and practice. Yeah, okay, no mic and stand at home. Practice rehearsing with the stand gives you confidence, and again, it's one less thing to worry about when you are in front of a live audience. In front of road audience. Purple cow. Idea, like mode, innovative. Innovative. Yeah, new. Pro tip: pawn shops and thrift stores are full of mic stands previously belonging to hopeful musicians. Okay, how to use the mic? First, decide with portions of your act you will do with the mic in the stand, and when or if you are going to pull it out. To practice pulling the mic out of the stand, hold the mic in one hand and put the stand behind you without taking your eyes off the audience. If your attention and focus go to the mic, you will lose their attention. Yes, determine at which points you are going to need both hands. For an act out, practice smoothly putting the mic back in the stand just before your act out. Keep your head up and your eyes on the audience while putting the mic in the stand. Now let's go over bantering with the audience. Crowd work. Crowd work. Inserting space in your act to banter with the audience is a great way to connect. With them. In most cases, audiences. Okay, audiences. One. Okay, audiences. Now let's go over bantering with the audience. Crowd work. Inserting space in your act to banter with the audience is a great way to connect with them. In most cases, audiences want and expect to be a part of the show, so be comfortable including them, and it's often an organic way to introduce a topic that segues into your pre-planned material. But it's critical to engage the audience without losing control of your show. Crowd work is an art form in itself, as evidenced by some of the great greats like Jimmy Brogan, Todd Badgie, and Dean Lewis, who lists the do's and don'ts of audience participation as follows. Here are some tips on crowd work from comic Dean Lewis. Okay. Stars. Okay. Come on, man. Go from a group to a table to a person. Audience members can be reluctant to talk, so ask a question or make a statement the whole audience can react to. Then look for a group. Excuse me. Oh, thank you very much. God and my teachers are saying bless you to me. Thank you very much. God bless to all of you. Okay, go from a group to a table, so to a person. Audience members can be reluctant to talk, so ask questions or make a statement that whole audience can react to. Then look for a group that's responsive, and finally address one person in the group. This works because it immediately gets the whole room involved. Less audience members enjoy seeing their friends on the spot can result in multiple people joining in one on the fun. Example: this is going to be the best year ever for football. Wow, you all seem motivated. You, sir, who are you rooting for this year? The XX question mark. My team is XX. And then go into your pre-planned material on football. Something. Okay, 2. Include lower flavor. Before going on stage, research any shared experiences for this show's audience. Example: low traffic, bad weather, a local or big news story that's not tragic or political, a fad, a neighborhood tradition, etc., etc. Wave the most universal experiences into your act for that night. There are any groups in the audience such as bachelorette parties, birthday parties, tour groups, or company parties. Groups can sometimes be loud and obnoxious, so a smart approach is to talk about not being in that group. Example: there is a bachelorette party have tonight. They hoot and holler. Hope you all have a good time, and let's give some love to the real heroes here tonight. Those who have to sit next to them act out someone sitting with folded arms and a bitter look on their face. Then add bachelorette party, whoop it up, girls, because Lord knows it gets so much better after the first 20 years. 3. Use agreement. 3. Use agreement when interacting with audience members. A well-known improv technique is when none of the performers and say, "There you are." Okay, performers can say no. They can only say yes, and instead of putting down anyone's response, agree, and then build on it. Build on what the audience member says. Never engage in any arguments, doing yes and with hecklers. One time an audience member called me dash. So I said yes, and that means counting out each word on a finger. I am a PITCH, and that means I'm a babe in total control of herself. I got such a huge laugh. I ended up making t-shirts with that phrase. 4. Always use open-ended questions. Yeah. So here's how you can open-ended questions. Avoid asking closed-ended questions. Which can be answered with a yes or no. Those are boring and don't extend the conversation. Ask questions requiring a fill-in-the-blank response, and include personal feelings, opinions, or ideas. This technique provides more material to work with and provides more room to insert jokes you have already written. For example, close-ended. Are you two? Are you? For example, close-ended. Are you two married? Are you two married? Oh ho ho. Closed-ended. Are you two married? Open-ended. No rings. No rings. Why aren't you two married? No rings. Why aren't you two married? No rings. Why aren't you two married? Okay, that is my. Okay. 5. Always be polite and approachable. If you are a jerk to audience members, no one will talk to you. Even worse, the audience will side with anyone who insult and turn against you. Nothing kills a performance faster than a crowd turning on you. Address people with respect and other praise instead of criticism. And offer praise instead of criticism. Yeah. Nobody likes an a-hole, and audiences must feel comfortable interacting with you. Being polite makes the room more relaxing. 6. Make yourself the target. Self-representation is a no fail. Use it to joke about your character defects. The audience laughs hardest when they identify with your issues. It's better to pick on yourself rather than audience members. 7. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Ask a question, Mr. Dwayne. You live for that. Ask a question to get. Okay, 7. Ask a question to get into your material. To make your material more organic, start off with a question. Let's say you are going to joke about your divorce. Ask a couple who looks affectionate how long they have been together, and you can use what they say as a setup for going into your material. Yeah. I used to be as in love as you. Getting a divorce is scary, I know. And then on to your material about your failed marriage. A question can create an easy segue. A question makes the act seem more spontaneous. 8. Give recognition to those who deserve it. If an audience member makes a comment that gets a big laugh, celebrate it. They are doing the work and you are still getting paid. Give them a moment to enjoy it. If someone deserves applause, let them have it. Recognition gets people excited and engaged. 9. Use the setting. Watch the audience before your performance and see what they are dealing with. Is there a stain on the curtain behind you? Was parking a nightmare? Dropping observational tidbits into your act is extremely effective in connecting with the audience. Okay, shared experiences are relatable for everyone there. Observation makes people think you are quick on your feet. 10. Build off the previous performer, but don't be a hack. Just as you can comment on shared experiences about the city, neighborhood, or venue you are in, you can also comment on the performance who appeared before you. I watched a show comic where comic where comic actor Michael Rappaport, using a high energy delivery, talked about being Jewish. Mark Maron came on afterward, slowly pulled up a stool, eased himself down, and said, "Now for the two, now for the low energy Jewish section of the show. You are getting both ends of the Jewish spectrum tonight." Huge laugh, as everyone knew it was a true spontaneous moment. Building off someone else's act keeps a positive momentum in the room. Always be kind, especially to fellow comedians. If the comic before you bombs, if the comic before you bombs, never put him or her down. Secrets for overcoming the fear of spontaneity. No one knows if you fail. The audience has no idea you are trying to create a spontaneous moment unless you tell them. If you engage a person with a question or statement and it goes nowhere, just move on. The moment will be quickly forgotten unless you dwell on it. You only get better at talking to audiences by talking to audiences. You only get better to talking to audiences by talking to audiences. Right. The biggest skill to master is learning how to quickly move on after hitting a dead end. Okay, audiences are predictable. You will definitely see patterns in people's responses after just a few shows. After just a few shows, whenever I ask a husband what the secret is to a long marriage, the answer is always, I say, yes dear, a lot, or I married my best friend. A corporate events, food stealing by co-workers, or microwaving something that stinks up. The break room are topics that come up a lot. Developing go-to responses to these types of predictable answers works well. So make sure you have a few. And similar to a knock joke, you can actually set up audience members so you can deliver a prescripted response. Have a plan instead of jumping in with no sense of direction. Ask leading questions that deliver snappy comebacks. You already have. The more you do this, the more laughs you will get. The more you do this, the more laughs you will get. Perfection is not the goal. Be okay with not having a perfect riff. It's a huge step. It's a huge step. Just talking to the audience and engaging them. Give yourself credit for each small step you take and keep sight of the long range goal, getting comfortable with spontaneity. Yeah, bro. Good job, man. You made the concept of prosperous solve forever. Great job. Yeah, you have completed the 126 6 human needs. Okay. Have a plan instead of jumping in with no sense of direction. Ask leading questions that deliver snappy comebacks you already have. The more you do this, the more laughs you will get. Okay. 30 seconds. Perfection is not the goal. Be okay with not having a perfect riff. Be okay with. Have a plan. Okay, if you can't be funny, be friendly. If you can connect with the audience, you have accomplished the hardest part. Sometimes just being friendly and likable is as good as being hilarious likability. Once more, the biggest secret to connecting with the audience is to be an active listener. Relax and breathe and listen. You can totally do this. As a matter of fact, let's commit to leaving room for spontaneity the next time you perform. Exercise 32. Crowd working and audience. Comedy Bible workbook. Bible. Bible workbook. Then my list. After studying the various techniques on audience participation, mark a place in your set list where you will commit to improvising with the audience the next time you perform. First, determine if this is particular audience is open with participating audiences from a personality, and some audiences just like first dates do not want to get involved. Have strong material to go into after you improvise. after you improvise, after you improvise, after you improvise. If you still feel uncomfortable bringing it, take an improved class to practice this and techniques, or join a Toastmasters group with this another great way to learn and improve. Okay. Yes. Now let's move on to handling audience members who get too involved. Hecklers. Crushing hecklers without running the show. What if I have hecklers? Okay. Fact, most novice comics are afraid of hecklers. They imagine a drunken stranger just waiting to humiliate them as they freeze on stage. The truth is, this rarely happens. Most audiences are too shy to speak up when asked a simple question, let alone shout insults at the comic. During the few times people people have tried this while I was on stage. I've actually found it fun to take a break from doing my material and start riffing with them. When someone starts heckling, I say to myself, bring to it on. I smell fresh meat. You have got to be stupid to heckle me. I'm very equipped to win. Lewis Black. Why you shouldn't be afraid of hecklers? You have got a mic and are louder than they are. They are drunk and hopefully you are not. You should have an audience on your side. You should have the audience on your side. You have the audience and should audience on your side. 3 best ways to handle hecklers. Here are 3 approaches to dealing with hecklers. Ignore. Keep focusing and keep be on topic. That's it. Leave a solution in the moment. To have a few heckler controlling pre-planned responses. Leave a solution in the moment. Get them kicked out, but only if they are disruptive and unknown. The rest of the room, get them kicked out, but only if they are disruptive and unknown. Yes, disruptive and unknown of rest of the room. Every heckler is unique because they say something and they react to what they say or what they are wearing or who they are with, so every response to the heckle is unique. Sebastian Maniscalco. When a heckler's intent is running your show, signal the manager to throw them out. They understand it's not good business if one person ruins the show for everyone. for everyone. Ad libbing with hecklers rules of play. When a comic improvises a zinger on a heckler, it creates excitement with one well-placed hit of wit bam, bam. They are squashed. Nothing feels better than that. On the other hand, if you hit them too hard, the audience can turn on you. Just ask Michael Richards. A Kramer on Seinfeld after a racist ran toward a heckler went viral. Here are some rules on how to handle hecklers from comic and stand-up coach Dean Davis. Hecklers rule number 1. You can ignore hecklers. See, told you. Yes, you can ignore hecklers. Sometimes heckling can get out of hand, and if a comic responds to every single thing an audience member says, it can be irritating. Yup. And you have a choice to ignore the heckler. Sometimes a heckler just wants attention. Yes. And one outburst is enough. Yes. Let's say there was speak. Yes. Necessary. It works. Let's say there was a fat guy heckling me. I would rip him to shreds, but I would never do for the obvious. Never talk about how he is fat or anything. Giraffe. Fred landed. Heckler rule to never hit a heckler harder than they hit you. For example, if a heckler comments on your hair, snap back with sometimes about their hair or lack thereof. If they disparage your outfit and you dial up your response by insulting their mother, you may shut them up, but you will become off as a bully. The alienates the audience. I love hecklers. They remind you that you are a comedian. Ben Cook. Heckler rule 3. Distinguish between a heckler and somebody who is just having a good time. Some people will respond to your material by laughing and talking back to you. They'll say things like I heard that or that's right, and so on. These are not hecklers. Calling them out is a mistake. Heckler distinguish between heckler and somebody who just having a good time. Yes, they'll say things like I heard that, or that's right, and so on. These are not hecklers. Calling them out is a mistake. The verbal audience members doesn't realize they are pissed. If you make a big deal out of it, two things are likely to happen. The outspoken party will feel you made them look foolish, and the audience may turn on you. They'll see you as a jerk for picking on a fellow audience member. Our lip techniques to crush hecklers. Let the heckler dig his own grave. Like politicians, hecklers don't need much. Like politicians, hecklers don't need much help making themselves look stupid. Try simply repeating what they said, then commenting on it by applying an attitude and driving it on an act out. Embarrass the heckler by talking to the heckler's companion. If the heckler is with a friend or date, ask them to make the jerk shut up. The heckler may be trying to impress the companion, and if you make that person feel uncomfortable, the heckler will probably shut up. To the woman, say, you must now be rethinking using Tinder. Oh, you must now be rethinking using Tinder. I'm right. Am I right? To the many, sir, many say. To the man, say, sir, it's time for her meditation. It's time, sir, it's time for her meditation. Get the audience on your side. If a heckler persists in challenging you, try getting the audience to shut them up for you. Ask them if the person is bothering them. When they respond with a loud yes, or by applauding the hecklers usually so embarrassed. So embarrassed, they'll knock it off. Once at the Riviera in Vegas, a woman stood up in the middle of my show and said, I've never been so insulted. If you don't apologize, I'll never come back here again. I have never been insulted. Okay. I replied, well, first of all, I'm not going to apologize. And second of all, I hear harass is really nice. Michael Paul phrase a retort in the form of a question. The reason for this is twofold. Asking a question causes the heckler to stop and think of an answer. This breaks his or her rhythm, and the pause gives you a chance to think of another comeback, make fun of how slow her or she is in responding, or answer the question for the heckler in a funny way. In other words, take back control of the situation. Rephrase the comeback as a yes or no question, yes or no question, because that's a no win. That's no win for the heckler. No matter the response, they sound foolish. For example, Sir, does it bother you knowing that your mother is also your sister? No matter what response the heckler gives, it will sound stupid. The heckler will see a no-win situation and most likely won't even answer. Slow down and torment the heckler. When a heckler interrupts the show you don't have to go for a zinger right away. British comic Jimmy Carr turns destroying hecklers into a work of art as he plays with them like a fish on the line. For example, male heckler, when does the comedy start? Carr, it's a classy heckler, right? What's your name, sir? Male heckler, rack. Carr, like shoe rack. Like shoe rack? You are called rack. You are called rack. Where are you, rack? Up there or down there? If you don't think the comedy has started, you are right. You are right. Okay, cause it's a very individual thing. Isn't it? And if the show's not for you, it's not for you. But I suppose Rack, you have learned a valuable lesson. You have learned life's not fair. You pay your money, you take your chance. Sometimes it's a good show, sometimes it's not for you. But I'll give you another example. Rack, so you haven't had a wasted evening. At least you have learned something. Another example, Rack, of however unfair our society is. Let's say if a man, you or I said, let's say if a man sleeps with loads and loads of women, what is he? He is a stud. He is a player and he is admired and he is admired. That is in our society. That isn't an opinion, that's fact. If a man sleeps with loads and loads of women, he is a stud, he is a player, he is admired. But if a woman sleeps with loads and loads of men, she is called Rack's mom. Bam. Don't encourage heckling. If you have a rowdy audience, don't encourage heckling. You can, however, involve them in your set by asking simple yes or no questions. This is a fun way to involve the audience in your act without encouraging them to yell out individual thoughts. For instance, nobody watched the Super Bowl elicits a simple yes answer and then it's right back to you. If you are too scared to be in the moment with a heckler, have a planned comeback. Planned heckler comebacks. Many beginning comics lack the confidence of ad-lib or retort, so it can be handy to have some handy to have some canned responses on ha- on hand. It can come it can come off as a little hacky, but it gets the job done. But it gets the job done until you gain enough confidence to riff comebacks on the spot. Don't use cliche put downs like see what happens when the fetus doesn't get enough oxygen, or you are two tacos short of a combo plate. It should go without saying that when bashing the heckler, don't use racial, ethnic, gay, or any other kind of discriminatory put downs. Male comics don't bash a female heckler with stereotypes, even if she is sloppy, drunk, dumb as a rock, and has more facial hair than you do. It will only make you look bad, not her. Your heckler might be mean, but you need to be clever. But you need to be clever. Never steal another comic's lines, whether you find them in this book, on the internet, or on stage. Word gets around quickly about comics who steal, ad lib your response in the moment. Examples of excellent comebacks to hecklers. Arthur Smith. Look, it's all right to donate your brain to science, but shouldn't you have waited till you died? Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, buddy, you ought to save your breath. You will need it later to blow up your inflatable death. Russell Kane, Russell Kane. Why don't you go into a corner and finish evolving? Jasper Cadrock, sit back in your chair and I'll plug it in. Linda Smith, in response to calls of get your okay. Linda Smith, in response to calls of get your teas out. Why is it time for your why is it time for your feeding? Why is it time for your feeding? Amy Schumer, what's that? You want to know where I got my boots? There are from. You can't afford them, and stop talking. They are from. You can't afford them, and stop talking to me. Okay. Examples of excellent comebacks to hecklers. Look, it's all right to donate your brain to science, but shouldn't you have? Look, it's all right to donate your brain to science, but shouldn't you have waited till you died? And hey, buddy, you ought to save your breath. You'll never. You, you'll need it later to blow. You'll need it later. Hey, buddy, you ought to. Hey, buddy, You ought to save your breath. You will need it later to blow up your inflatable date. Inflatable date. Russell King. Why don't you go into the corner and finish evolving? Finish evolving. Why don't you go into why don't you go into the corner and finish evolving? Evolve yourself. Go. Jasper Carrot. Sit back in your chair and I'll plug it in. Jasper Carrot. Sit back in your chair and I'll plug it in. Or sit back in your chair. Sit back on your chair. Or I'll plug it in. Okay, in response to calls of in response to calls of why is it why is it time for your feeding? Why is it time for your feeding? I mean, what's that you want to? What's that you want to? What's that you want to? Thank you, God. Thank you very much. God bless you, man. Amy Shumed. What's that you want to know? Where I got my boots? They are from you can't afford them, and stop talking to me. Billy Connolly. Did your mother never tell you not to drink on an empty head? Bo Burnham, mimicking the thoughts of the heckler. You know, what am I going to do tonight? I'm going to heckle an 18-year-old kid. Heckle an 18-year-old kid who is following his effing dreams. You know what am I going to do tonight? I'm going to heckle an 18-year-old kid who is following his effing dreams. Okay, Shazia Mirza. All men are pigs, especially you. All men are pigs, especially you, sir. Unfortunately, I can't eat pork. Unfortunately, I. Hey, God bless you, sister. All men. Unfortunately, I can't eat pork. Frank Skinner. To a heckler who said, I met you at medical school. Yes. Yes. You were the one in the jar. Yes. You were the one in the jar. Now, do a practice, heckler. Come back. Exercise with your comedy buddy. Exercise 33. Heckler preparedness. Comedy Bible workbook. Then exercises. Then exercise 33. Heckler come back. Comedy buddy exercise. Comedy buddy exercise. Practice your act while your comedy buddy heckles you. Okay, rather than going for a candid response, engage your buddy heckler in a dialogue following this format. 50. Alright. 1. Repeat the heckle so the entire audience has heard the heckle. Yeah. 2. Ask the heckler a question. This will give you some time to play with a response. 3. Respond with something funny. See if you can come up. See if you can come up with five original comebacks. Got any good ones? Add them to your comedy Bible workbook. Final performance tips. Comedy timing. Comedy timing cannot be taught in a book. It's foolish to even try. Timing is something you acquire after a lot of stage time. Instead, let's discuss leaving time for the audience to laugh. Yes. Drugs, alcohol, and comedy. Performing under the influence is known to mess up timing and a comic's connection to the audience. I have seen comics so messed up that they said a joke twice to an audience. Okay, that was me. Many comics do get high when creating material, but I agree with Lily Tomlin who said the best mind altering drug is the truth. So, create purple car here. Okay, weeds, videos, stage performances, and market them. Okay. Email list. Reddit. Quora. People. Okay, like Jimmy brother. Okay, man. Now that you are ready to perform, oh yes, you are. It's critical to know. It's critical to it's critical to know when you leave from uh, leave room for the laughs. That means after delivering a joke, you wait. Actors say that fear stand up because they don't want to be on stage alone. The thing is, when doing stand up, you are never alone. Stand up is inherently a dialogue. The comic says something and the audience reacts. But if the comic steps on the reaction meaning they don't leave them leave them time for the audience to laugh. The audience not only misses the beginning of the next joke, they become disengaged. So set up your joke, pay it off, and wait. This is the moment you receive feedback from the audience. This is also where you do the tag and repeat and repeat of the attitude by nodding your head and asking, "Yep." It's weird, right? It's imperative for you to milk that moment while looking at the audience. If you drop your head to look at your set list, you will immediately disconnect from the audience take and laughter, the boos, and sometimes even the lack of a reaction. The feedback from the audience may not be what you want to expect, but you must stay in the reality of the situation. This is the only way to respond organically to what's happening between you and this audience. A joke might not get the laugh you expect, but what you do with the moment after that might create magic. When testing new jokes in front of an audience, talk every quietly in the monotone voice where there is almost zero performance in there, to see if the material holds up. If the crowd laughs despite my dull delivery, then I know the joke is really good. From Ali Wong's essay collection Dear Girls, Comedy Timing and Volume, tips on getting the audience on to laugh, even if your material isn't that funny. By saying the laugh line louder, especially during act outs, chances are you will get a laugh. The shift in volume just by itself is funny. That means slow setup equals fast payoff. Soft setup equals loud payoff. Subtle setup exaggerated payoff. Loud confident. Loud equals to confident. Wow. Sorry. Yes. Time and volume. I was hired to do punch up work for a Disney sitcom by TV producer and former student Rob Lotterstein. Punch up is when a group of writers sit around a table pitching ways to make the script funnier. I was nervous about pitching with seasoned comedy writers, but A friend provided great advice. Even if you have no confidence about the material you are pitching, do it louder, even if it sucks. Even if it sucks. Okay. Even if you no confidence, if you have no confidence about the material you are pitching, do it louder. Do it louder. Even if it sucks, you will look confident. Timing your set. When it comes to how much time you spend on stage, set length is critical. If you are scheduled to do a 5-minute set and it's going so well, you do 10 minutes, you might not be asked back to that club. That's because you have ruined the timing for the rest of the evenings. Comics, keep to your timing. Keep to your timing. Time. Keep to your time. Keep to your time. Most clubs have a red light alerting the comic when there is 1 minute left. This may vary from club to club. Even though you have timed your act at home with crowd work and a lot of laughs, the length of your act will change. Hey, okay. So know how long your last bit is and make sure you can segue to your last joke from any place in your set. Don't end your set with "That's my time." It's a good joke to say at the end of your life. But at the end of a stand-up set, it's a glitch and hacky. Always make sure the audience knows your set has ended. A simple thank you is fine, and as we have learned, a callback always kills. If you go over your time when performing at a comedy club, you might not be asked back even if you kill. So let's do a final rehearsal so you can time your act. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Exercise 34. Coming in on time. Comedy buddy exercise. Practice timing your set. Understand the timing in your rehearsal will be very different in a club setting due to laughs and audience interaction. Rehearse segues to your last bit from different sections in your act. Now go out and do your gig. You are already when you are done, let's review and finish and find areas for improvement. Don't forget to record your set. Wait. reviewing and rewriting your act. One of the hardest part of being a performer. One being a I don't know where I get this idea, but yeah, it's a different thing, man. Is listening to your recording. Okay, the hardest part of being a performer is listening to a recording of your act. Many comics have a hard time listening to their voice, but after doing it a lot, it will become second nature. I went backstage to say hi to stand-up star and former student Matt Jabroni. After his set, the Comedy Store, he had just come off stage a few minutes before, and she already listening to his recording and taking notes. He told me, listening and taking notes. He told me that he had another show in a few hours and was making changes, preparing to do a new 1 hour special in a month. Seasoned pros knows that all jokes can be better with shorter setups. Yes, with shorter setups and extended act outs and adding mixes. The first step is to listen to the recording of your act to find out how you did. Let's go over the recording of your set and mathematically figure out how you did using the LPM laughs per minute. LPM laughs per minute formula. Okay. Exercise 35. Act review. Calculating your laugh score. Comedy Bible workbook 2. My act. Okay. Then Comedy Bible workbook. Set list. As it's hard to be objective. As it's hard to be objective about how your set went. Here is a proven method to answer the question, how did I do? Listen to the recording of your act with your set list in front of you. Right next to each joke a number from 0 to 5, using this as a reference. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 5. Laughs and applause. 4. Laughs and a smattering of applause. 3. Strong laughs, no applause. 2. Smattering of laughs. 2. 1. A few giggles. 0. No laughs. Add up the total number Add up the total number and divide by your stage time. That provides your LPM laughs per minute score. 1. Add up your total laughter points to minute on stage. 3. Divide line one by line 2 and enter your LPM If your total 12 to 20 equals to take a bow, rock star, keep at it, and will soon be making the big bucks. If your total is 12 to 20, 9 to 12, nice job. You are ready to progress to paid gigs, but you may want to think about shortening your setups. 6 to 9, not bad. Practice with your comedy buddy. Some more to raise those numbers next time. Below 6 equals to, are you sure your jokes are in proper stand-up structure? Are your topics authentic? Did you do your set high? You might want to get rid of some clunkers and rewrite others. Exercise 36. Act review rewriting your act. Comedy Bible workbook to my act, and in Comedy Bible workbook to satellites. Setlist. Okay. Setlist. Review the jokes that got LPM laughs per minute score of 1 or 2 and rewrite your jokes in your My Act folder by answering these questions. 1. Was there a logic disconnect? We have all heard a joke and thought, I don't get it. Being perplexed is the opposite of being entertained. Audiences need to get what you are saying. For the jokes that didn't get a laugh, look at every word in your setup and make sure none are vague, have double meanings, are in the wrong order, hard to follow, or contain references that are too obscure for a particular room. 2. Do you have a poorly written setup? Sometimes we are passionate about a topic, but the joke doesn't work. Doesn't throw away a joke that didn't get a laugh. If you like the topic, try setting it up differently, with a different attitude or with a clearer premise. Better yet, make sure you actually have a premise. If so, next time try performing it with more attitude. Okay. Setups. Setting up differently with a different attitude or with a clearer premise. Better yet, make sure you actually have a premise. If so, next time try performing Next time, try performing it with more attitude. 3. Did the joke have an act out or a turn? Forgetting to put in the funny part of the joke guarantees you won't get a laugh. Focus on where people were supposed to laugh and add an act out or a turn at that point. 4. Were your turns premises too predictable? People laugh when they don't see it coming. Did you do something unexpected with the act out or the turn or the turn? If not, try taking the joke in another direction or redo the setup to make it less obvious where you are going with the punchline. 5. Okay. 5. Could people hear your joke? If audience members ask their friends, what did she say? Then they aren't laughing. This is a simple fix. Speak up. 6. Ways was your material inauthentic? You wrote great jokes for someone else, meaning you are not comfortable delivering your own material. Write material that comes from your truths and your authentic feelings about the topic. 7. Did you have story setups rather than premises? Stories do not get as high an LPM, laughs per minute, score as stand-up material. If you are getting a laugh at the end of a long story, you can get more laughs by breaking the story up into stand-up comedy format. You are telling a story when you are often saying things like and then. You are telling a story, okay? 8. Was there a clear attitude you held throughout the jokes? Get back in touch with the emotion of your joke. Hard, weird, scary, or stupid. Fully committing to the emotion of your joke. Joke keeps both you and the audience engaged. 9. 9. Step did you step on your laughs? If you don't leave room for the audience to laugh, they'll stop laughing. Stand up isn't a monologue, it's a conversation where you talk and the audience reacts. To learn how to make laughs, see the chapter on tags, segues, and getting laughs in between jokes. Getting laughs in between jokes. Okay. once once yeah, first I will do this and I'll start that then. Yes, because that's the goal. Okay, see the chapter on tags, segues, and getting laughs in between jokes. 10. Where you have an off night. Where you having an off night. We have all had bad nights when we are just off. We are disconnected, distracted, or for some reason not present. Sometimes we are bored doing the same material over and over again, and no longer picture what we are talking about. And if we aren't into what we are saying, the audience want to be either solution or write something new. 11. Was it your second time performing the same material? Something magical happens when performing material for the first time, because you don't know yet where the laughs will become. Each occurrence is a surprise, and because you are performing the material for the first time, chances are you are into it visually and emotionally. The second time you perform rather than being present, you are anticipating the laughs. When new comics start going for the laughs and neglect trying to communicate something real to the audience, that subtle shift is deadly picture what you perform. 12. Right material, wrong audience. And finally, the reason your jokes about your colorful is life didn't get a laugh might be because half the audience was a conservative church choir. Okay, yes, life. Perhaps you don't need to change your material, just where you perform. That's why it's always a great idea to material out on different audience before tossing anything out. So rewrite your material and try it again with a new audience. Don't toss the joke out because it didn't work once. Rewrite, perform, and repeat. Rewrite, perform, and repeat. If you bombed, you will want to read the next section. Yes. Bouncing back after bombing. Is there any way to prevent bombing? It feels as if my entire act was toast. Bombing happens. Yeah, so sorts of that and then this. Okay. Bombing happens even after many years of performing. It is still true. It is still true that new material always comes with a risk of failure. Old material gets very old. Okay. Conundrum. The more you do stuff, the better you get. The more you do stuff, the better you get. And dealing with how you still fail at it a lot of time. John Mulaney. Can you relate to this feeling? I feel sweat coming out of every pore. I see one by one people's eyes glazing over and they are crossing their arms and legs. Is it nature calling, or is it me? Probably me. I get louder, my voice gets higher and higher. I go faster and faster, feeling as if I'm an auctioneer. If I'm an auctioneer on the Titanic, I pick out a couple in the front row and talk to them. This doesn't work. The audience is pulling further and further away from me, slipping through my fingers as I desperately try to grab their attention, but I keep coming up empty-handed. And as I leave the stage, the MC doesn't meet my eyes. So Lota. I was thinking that there are lot of Lota we were getting through so that kind of funny things are coming in my mind. Yes, these things were. I'll describe later. Okay, is it natural calling or is it me? Probably me. I get louder. I get louder. My voice gets higher. I go faster and faster, feeling as if I'm an auctioneer on the Titanic. I pick out a couple in the front row and talk to them. This doesn't work. The audience is pulling further and further away from me, slipping through my fingers as I desperately try to grab their attention, but I keep coming up empty-handed. And as I leave the stage, the MC doesn't meet my eyes. We both know it's a train wreck. It feels as if someone died, but there is nobody. Okay, bombing is most often the result. Bombing is the most often the result of a comic being disconnected from the audience, and it feels horrible for everyone. We all know why bad comics bomb, but why do good comics bomb? Two. Okay. Two. Here is why bombing is an essential part of being good. If you aren't bombing, that means you are not trying out new material. Watch Jerry Seinfeld. Yes. Okay. And try out new jokes and bomb in the documentary. I'm telling you for the last time. It will show you that every comic bombs and gives you hope. If you don't take risks, you won't be good. Yes. Conversely, if you take risks, you'll bomb some of the time. 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 Here are some tips on minimizing your chances of bombing, even with fresh material. Okay. Bombing fix. Number 1. Take charge of the boom's layout when performing in the by success 5. Yes. When performing in traditional comedy club, the physical layout of the room is something you don't have to worry about. Clubs are designed to give comics optimal chances of getting laughs with a bright spotlight on the comic, focusing on audience's attention. Low ceilings, so audience laughter reverberates throughout the room. Sitting sitting that's close to the comic, a connection facilitating a connection. Yes. On the other hand, comics are often asked to perform in venues that are not so conducive to stand up. These include multi-purpose slash meeting rooms, golf courses, clubhouses, and hotel conference rooms, or on a revolving stage. Bomb alert. Okay. Of US. Yeah. Anybody. So, bomb alert. Circling the drain. Circling the drain. Someone once had a brilliant idea that a revolving stage in a dinner theater would be a great place for a comedy show, and 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 I was the beneficiary of their ingenuity. That meant setting up a joke to one section of the audience and delivering the punchline to a different group of people on the other side of the room. Virtually everyone was on board. The what the okay was on board. The what did she say? What did she say? Train smaller wonder I bombed by and that night. A connection with the audience is essential. No eye contact with the audience equals no laughs. Establishing and maintaining a connection is impossible if the room lacks a discernible stage, is noisy, or has intermittent intermittent visual distractions. It's up to you to identify and try to remedy as many impediments as possible prior to going on. Once I got booked to do a corporate gig and discovered that they wanted me to perform in the lobby of a Hyatt hotel during oh my god during the sound check. I noticed there were no chairs. They wanted me to do my little act standing on the floor by margarita machine while audience members wandered drunkenly around me. I told the booker, that's not gonna on. That's not gonna. She replied, well, it worked for last year's act. Oh, and how was that? A mariachi band. a mariachi band. What's going on here? Mariachi band. Rather than explaining my chairs and a stage where necessary for comedy, I simply took matters into my own hand and I called up the hotel manager. I asked for 50 chairs. I helped set them up and personally paid for a 4-foot by 8-foot platform. Yes, some of my jokes were drowned out by the margarita blender which is mixed into the act, but I avoided what would have inevitably been a complete bomb. Moral, it's your job to take ownership of your act and do everything you can make it a success. Make it a success. Especially when the space you are given is a receipt for failure. Oh my God. Wow. Always be proactive. Arrange a sound check before you go on. Usually not necessary. If it's a comedy club, make sure your audience is able to see you. Make sure your audience is close to the stage. Make sure the lights will be pointed in your direction. I have actually gotten a ladder and a broom to adjust the stage lights toward me rather than the floor display. Okay, broom and a ladder. Make sure you will be heard clearly in the back of the room. My contract states the audience must be seated within 3 feet of the stage. I've had too many gigs where a huge dance floor separates the audience from the stage, or as comics call it, the valley of dead laughs. Take charge of the room to give your material a chance. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. However, sometimes it's not a matter of the room, but rather the people in it. Bombing fix number 2. Match your act to the audience. You have undoubtedly heard you can't please all the people all the time. Same goes for comedy. You can't make everyone laugh. You can't make everyone laugh every time. Yes. Actor. We said one also. You can't make everyone laugh every time. Of course, when you gain a following, you'll naturally attract the right audience. But what do you do when starting out and you are stuck with an audience that's not right for your material? Here are some examples of right material around audience. Age. Those menopause jokes are going to flame out with a college audience. Politics. Politically progressive jokes will bomb if playing to a conservative group, and those gay bashing jokes will not work well anywhere. Religion. Jewish jokes in Arkansas land in the Dead Sea of Silence. gender. Your male bashing jokes could get you bashed at a biker bar. Laughing. Dropping the F bomb will bomb at the Baptist comedy night. S. Material. There will be no big O of laughter at a kid's birthday party. And so what do I do when the audience doesn't match my materials? Material. It's simple. Get more material so you can adapt your material to match the audience. As you write more material, you will build a database of jokes you can pull out for specific audiences. Most comics have college material, women's material, squawky, clean jokes for church groups, and S jokes for late night drunken audiences. Keep creating a refreshing different set lists for different audiences. Before you go on stage, do some reconnaissance on the audience, such as researching the club's social media to gauge the demographic of a typical night, asking the club manager ahead of time, or at least when you arrive, if there are any large groups in the audience, and if the club attracts the certain type of customer. Read online reviews to see who people liked, didn't like, and why. Ask comics who have played there. Bombing fix number 3. Deal with your spot in the lineup. Even if you are second coming to comedy, things could get rough. If you are in front of an audience that's worn out from a long evening, in a completely different mindset, or would refer to be somewhere else. In a completely different mindset, would prefer to be somewhere else. The solution to being in the wrong place in a lineup is to have patience. Call the situation by reacting with empathy and humor. If they are tried, empathy and humor. If they are tired, meet them there as it were, and then review them with something. And then revive them with some high energy humor. If you feel they are preoccupied with something annoying in the environment, such as lousy air conditioning, work that distraction into your set in short. Use Set in short, use the problem to fix the problem. Bombing fix 4. Be there. It can't be said enough. Show up and be present. It's magical when someone who is never performed before takes the stage and blows the roof off the place many times. However, that same person bombs their second time up. The reason is a trap called stuck in time. The second time some of my star students perform, they expect the exact same reaction they got the first time. When they don't get a laugh in the same spot as the time before, they are completely thrown off. This happens because they are not present with the audience, who are right in front of them. When you say something in expectation of a reaction, it alters your connection. It alters your connection with the audience. One of the most important skills for performing stand-up is giving each audience the feeling you are saying the material of the first time. To create that connection, picture in your mind what you are talking about every time you say it. This subtle shift can be the difference between getting laughs instead of blank stares. Okay, I have to visualize my jokes, live my jokes, feel the audience because every audience is different. It's like having a different dancing partner every night. Rita Rudney. Becoming fix number 5. Bombing fix number 5. Go with the venue style. Like it or not, people expect a certain kind of performance when deciding where to go for an evening of comedy. With that in mind, you will most likely bomb when telling story, reciting limericks, or singing a cappella in a comedy club. Also, a rhythm will be set by the comics who have gone on before you. If you do something wildly outside the audience's expectations, you won't get the reaction you want. I am not saying I'm not saying you shouldn't take chances. Just know you stand a better chance when fitting your act into the format of the venue. How to rebound from a disaster. So, what can I do next time I'm on stage and bombing? Here are some tips on recovering on the spot to avoid disaster. Use your body to get laughs. When things on stage aren't going well, Many inexperienced com- comics start pacing. Although physicality is a powerful way to connect with an audience, pacing is not the right way. Stick to this rule. Remain still on the setup and then move your body when acting out a character. This way, if the audience isn't into isn't into isn't into you will get into your act out and break through to them. You can also use gestures to or orchestrate an audience into laughing. When you deliver a laugh line, say it louder, take a beat, and punch out your hands on the audience while nodding your head and holding on to the attitude. It's as if you are saying, isn't that hard, weird, hard, scary, or stupid? In my workshops, students do this speaking only gibberish and they still get people to laugh. Just remember to keep your head up during the punchline. If you look down, you will cut off the laugh. Okay, come on. Just remember to keep your head up during the punchline. If you look down, you will cut off the laugh. So, yeah. For my first show at SNL, I wrote a Bill Clinton sketch, and during out read through, it wasn't getting any laughs. This weight of embarrassment came over me. Okay, embarrassment came over me, and I felt like I will setting. Okay. It wasn't getting any laughs. It wasn't getting any laughs. This weight of embarrassment came to me, and I felt like I was this weight of embarrassment okay, but I realized this weight of embarrassment came over me, and I felt like I was sweating from my spine out. But I realized, okay, that happened, and I did not die. You have got to experience failure to understand that you can survive it. You can survive it till after. Use your savers. use your savers. But what happens if I don't get a laugh? Okay, that joke. From here, use your savers.